Your friendly neighborhood film freak back here, guys. How you doing? So yesterday I put out a status on my Film Freak Facebook page, as well as my own personal Facebook page, for a vlog that I'm going to be doing. It's basically Ask the Film Freak Anything. From time to time, I'd like to do this vlog, maybe like once a month if I could, maybe a little longer. But the first edition, we've got 5 questions, and I've got them right here on my phone. I'm going to read them through. I'm going to try to give in-depth answers, but also not try to keep this thing from going, too overboard. So thank you to the people who asked. Let's go ahead and get started. Matt Stavisky asks me, for Kong Skull Island, it seems that this film is a remake of the one from with Jack Black. Do you feel that this movie, based on the trailers, will be more captivating than its predecessor? That's a good question, Matt. Me personally, I enjoyed the Jack Black King Kong, I believe from 2004 or 2005. Seems like ages ago now, crazy enough. But I'm actually more psyched for Skull Island, I gotta be honest with you. It seems like the tone is perfectly captured in the trailers of what this movie should be. Now, one thing that does worry me about the latest trailer is John C. Reilly. There's always that push for a comedic character to be somewhere inserted into a suspense movie, and sometimes it's just not warranted. So I'm hoping, though. I like the setting of Vietnam. I like the Apocalypse Now kind of feel to everything within the trailer. I love the size of Kong, so he can go up against Godzilla in 2020. And yeah, I'm very psyched for this movie. And as far as your question goes, I feel that this movie definitely has the capability to better King Kong from 2004. If I was rating King Kong off the top of my head, I haven't seen the movie in a couple of years, but if I were to rate it, I would only give that one probably a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie, but it definitely has its problems with pacing and as far as a script that sometimes drags on a little longer than it rightfully should. So thank you very much, Matt. The answer is yes. I feel like this one can be better, for sure. Let's see here. Let's scroll through. Chris Stewart asks, do you think Rings will be as mind-numbingly boring as the first two? Yeah, Stu and I, we have similar feelings on the Rings, the American version of the Rings saga. And to me, the first one is way better than the second, but they're both bad films to me, honestly. As far as Rings goes, not too psyched for this one either. It doesn't look like much has changed, and they're not giving away a lot of the plot with this movie, which makes me feel like it's just repeating the same shtick over and over again. As far as his question goes, do I feel it's going to be as mind-numbingly boring as the first two? I've got to go yes on this one. I think this movie. I'm going to see this Friday, so guys, be on the lookout for that review. And I think, yeah, it's probably not going to be a good one. That's for sure. I'm gonna scroll through here some more. See what we got here. Da, da, da. On the Film Freak fan page, we've got Sierra Wilmeth asks, when did you begin writing reviews, and do you have any of your older ones, maybe from childhood, that aren't on your site? That's a good question, Sierra. So basically, I started writing reviews in 2012. We have narrowed it down to The Hunger Games, the first one being my very first review ever. As far as it goes, I did write a little bit from time to time in 2011 before then. If you search my website, using the date, you can go back and look into 2011 and 2012 and see some of my earliest writings. I didn't get as in-depth as I do now. My writing was terrible then. I still don't think it's great now, but my writing was absolutely atrocious then. And yeah, so check out like the Hunger Games review, check out the Warrior review. There's a couple others on there. Prometheus is back there somewhere. So look up those for sure. But I've always wanted to write about film ever since I was a little kid. I feel like all of life's greatest questions can be answered in a movie. So it's corny, but yeah, that's what I believe. And as you can see, I'm stalked by movies everywhere in my life. They are a huge factor in my life. So thanks, Sierra, for the awesome question. Brian Lilly Longville asks, the Film Freak's top Christmas holiday-inspired films. Okay, I can go on with this forever, but everybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Home Alone fan, the original. I love the original Home Alone. It is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. But when you're talking some of the best, you look at like A Christmas Story, you look at Christmas Vacation, you look at Die Hard even is a Christmas movie. I stand by that argument fully. But yeah, there's tons of Christmas movies. Those are a few of mine personally. But I'd love to hear some feedback from other people. What are some of your favorites? Okay, so let's go. We've got one more question here. I've got to find it. It is from Norm Carrero, just sent in. Norm Carrero asks, Emma Watson and Miles Teller were initially selected for the lead roles of Mia and Sebastian in La La Land. Due to both of these actors' crazy demands, they were both pulled from the project and replaced by Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. True fact. My question to you is, do you think the movie La La Land would have been as successful if Emma Watson and Miles Teller would have stayed on as the lead roles, and why? So basically, this is kind of a tricky question because Damien Chazelle is still at the helm. He is the director, and I feel Chazelle is one of the very best actors going today, period. The man has such an in-depth analysis for music and such a passion for that subject and the way he shoots it. And I feel like his movie would still have that infectious, energetic tone to it. And I feel like the magic would still be there for sure. As far as performances go, I like Miles Teller and Emma Watson, so do not get me wrong before I start. But there's something in the chemistry of Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling that cements this movie, that puts it on a different platform. This is the third movie that both of them have worked on, and you gotta respect that factor, man. Miles Teller and Emma Watson, I'm sure they both. Emma Watson, we know she can sing. Beauty and the Beast coming up, but I'd have to say not as great, because the chemistry would not be there, and the chemistry makes everything believable. It makes what we're seeing that much more honest and that much more believable for us, the audience. So I think everything that we went through, we loved their chemistry on screen, and we've followed them ever since Crazy Stupid Love. So I think the movie would be nominated still for like technical awards and stuff like that. You know, cinematography, musicals, editing, all kinds of stuff like that, screenplay. But I don't think the performances would have been there as much, and because of that, I don't think people would be talking about La La Land being among the best movies of the year. They'd probably still be in the top 20, but not in like the top 5 of so many lists. Number 1 in my own. So that's it. That's all the questions that I got this time. Maybe we'll do another one next month. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that pitched in and sent me a question. Keep them coming. I'll add yours to the next list, and we'll go from there. This is the Film Freak signing off.